Okay, thanks for tuning back in. So this is going to be a second installment in a series of how to get your first real estate wholesale deals. And so this is episode 2, how to find motivated sellers. So kind of the main talking points I'm going to hit on here are going to be what is a motivated seller, where to look for motivated sellers, how to qualify a motivated seller. So starting off, what is a motivated seller? So motivated seller is gonna be distressed properties, financial hardship. They have some kind of time sensitive situation. So when it comes to distressed properties, you can probably see this, but you may not even really be cognizant of it as you're driving around. You see properties where there's a bunch of maybe they have a bunch of um, newspapers that are on the driveway. It looks like there's a bunch of stuff piled up on the door. You see sticky notes on the door, things on the door. Just, that could be one kind of indicator. Another indicator could be the grass is overgrown. Place looks a little dilapidated. Doesn't look like there's a lot of activity there. Maybe it's a property that you frequently go by, and some of these things you just kind of get used to it and you kind of tune it out. You don't even really think about it. Another, some key things to look for could be blue tarps. You see like blue tarps that have been on the roof for a long period of time. There's been numerous, say it's been there through a season, right, of the winter, and the wind has torn it up. It's all ragged. There's something going on. They don't have the funds maybe to fix the roof, or there's some underlying things going on. So those could be some indicators for that. Financial hardships, that comes in many flavors. We all know it's tough times out there today. It could be, a loss of job, death in a family, inheriting a problem property from, whether it's your parents or a brother or, some other family member. And that creates some kind of financial burden where you're carrying your mortgage or your rent payment on where you're currently living at, but you've inherited this other asset. It has become this really financial burden to kind of deal with. So that's kind of another thing that could basically create a motivated seller. And another thing could be like a time sensitive situation, which could be loss of a job and they're in a hurry to do something. Maybe they're thinking about relocating and maybe they got a promotion and they need to go really quick and get to the next destination, so they don't have time to put the property on the market and do the traditional thing. Maybe their property's in a little bit of disrepair. They don't want to take the money nor the time to fix that property up so they can get the most value out of it before they sell it in a hurry because they got to, move on to that new job. They could have lost their job and they were searching and searching. They're kind of, running low on funds. They lucked out. They got another job. Maybe they had to, relocate to another state. Maybe the job doesn't pay as much as the job they had before. So all these different things could be, determining factors of what could really be a motivated seller. Next thing I just wanted to hit on real quick was going to be where to look for motivated sellers. So back to driving, that driving for dollars. You're driving around. If you think about it, you may start noticing that mail piling up in the mailbox, tons of newspapers on the driveway, or things that are piled up around the door, or sticky notes or papers that are taped to the door and all that. Some of those could definitely be some key indicators for that. Other places to look for motivated sellers could be in public records. So public records, essentially, you can look for what are some things in the public records sector. Um, there is looking at sheriff sales, stuff like that, tax auctions details. A lot of that stuff, depending what state you're in, is available online, so you actually can dig into it and look at it and see some of those problem things and find out about the people involved with those properties, which could give you an opportunity to then think about maybe reaching out to them. Another thing could be pre foreclosures. So those are easy to search for. You can go on Zillow and you can just put in pre foreclosures and their filter at the top, and then look, essentially filter out for those. Those will pop up and you can see pre foreclosures that are out there. Um, there's some online tools and platforms out there that you can look to find some of this information, which could be some of these are paid, one of them's free. So Property Radar is a subscription-based service where you can essentially buy into their platform, you get access to it, and you can use basically this filtering criteria to search for motivated sellers. You could also do the same inside of Batch Leads and PropStream. So those are three paid platforms you can use to do that with. A free way to do that is going on Zillow, and one example could be go into Zillow and go at the top under buy, and then in the filters, maybe you put 3-bed, 2-bath, and there's like a more section. And I think it's even better on Redfin. If you go in there in the filters, you can basically pick like days on market, and you're going to look for properties that have been on the MLS for 90 days or more. So if they've been on that long, there's something going on. Either the agent didn't do them a good job, they told them kind of a bunch of lies that they could get them really top dollar for their property. But the market's speaking. If the property's been on that long and they're not getting offers, high probability the agent's, one, not doing a good job for their client. Two, the property's definitely overpriced, and that could be an opportunity to maybe reach out and look for the seller's information and be able to contact them. There's a platform called True People Search, so you could take somebody's address, put it in there. Essentially, you can go get the seller's phone number. Typically, if they're in a listing agreement and they have an active listing agreement with an agent, you don't want to bypass the agent, but maybe you want to reach out to the agent and just go, I see this property's been on the market for 121 days. What's going on with the property? And then just sit back and listen, and then have some dialogue with that agent. So those are some ways to find some motivated sellers. How do you qualify a motivated seller? So next thing here in the how do you qualify a motivated seller is there's really 4 quick questions you can ask them. First one's going to be, are you looking to sell your property at 123 Main Street? And you're going to either find out a yes or no. If so, then you're going to go, okay, well, what are you looking to get for the property? They're going to give you a price, maybe, or they're going to say, you tell me, you're asking me, I'm not going to tell you. You can then move into okay, well, what's going on? And then just sit back and be quiet and listen to what they have to say and just take it in, right? Try to understand what's going on. What's their situation? Active listening comes into play. Can you hear any kind of flags in there that maybe indicate like some pain points that you can, kind of ask more focused questions and open-ended questions to get them to come back with a response to your question. You can also, so what's got you thinking about selling, right? Just try to dig in, try to understand that motivation. And then, another thing to ask, okay, well, why don't you just list your property with a real estate agent? Let's say the property current market values in that area are $350,000. And you say, well, what are you looking to get for the property? And they say that market value price of $350. Or maybe sometimes you'll find people that'll go, well, give me $375 and I'll sell my house. Okay, so sounds like you want retail value. Why don't you just hire an agent and sell your property to get maximum value? Well, there could be some underlying factors why they don't want to list with an agent. It could be really, there's 25,000, 30 grand, whatever's got to be put in the property to really get that property in a comparable condition to other similar properties that are on the market that they're competing against. So those are some ways you can do that. And then kind of looking for red flags, right? So what are some of the red flags? Well, those could be lack of clarity or commitment, which, they could say, well, I'm not sure. Or if I'm not sure if I want to sell yet, which indicates hesitation or maybe lack of motivation. Or there could be some avoidance type things, which could be, well, it depends on the offer. That could suggest unrealistic expectations or the lack of genuine intent to sell. So that's 2 red flags. Third one could be an ownership issue, which could be, well, technically it's not in my name. Well, there may be a point of legal or title complication going on. So this is a real quick little video. Again, main things are, what's that motivated seller? What do they look like? Where do you look for them? And then how do you qualify those motivated sellers? So again, this is going to be episode 2. This is going to be a 10-part series, so look for the next video. If you want to find me on my socials, you see them up there on my Instagram, my Facebook, my YouTube channel. There's a QR code. You can just scan that and that'll pop up to get to it. If you are working to try to get a deal across the finish line, you need some help, DM me the word deal. If you have a deal under contract that you're having a hard time moving and selling, we got a ton of buyers. We got access to a lot of tools to be able to move inventory. So DM me the word deal. And if you need access to capital, maybe you're trying to, find some, private money lenders to fund some deals you're looking at. And it could be from a, small single family home all the way to a multifamily apartment complex. We've got a lot of access to capital. And also maybe you're looking for some funds to fund a fix and flip. DM me the word dough. So, anyways, appreciate you watching this one. And next one's coming out here soon, and it's going to be episode 3. And again, appreciate you all for watching and have a blessed day.